Imagine standing at the edge of the Grand Canyon, gazing out over the vast, colorful cliffs and deep canyons. The view is breathtaking, and you might expect the air to be just as pure and invigorating as the scenery itself. Or picture yourself deep in Yosemite, surrounded by towering granite walls and ancient forests, breathing in what you hope is crisp, clean mountain air. We all tend to imagine national parks as untouched sanctuaries, places where nature is preserved and protected, far removed from the pollution and chaos of city life. But here's the surprising truth. Despite their remote locations, the air in many of our most beloved parks isn't as clean as we might think. Pollution doesn't stop at park gates. It drifts for hundreds, sometimes even thousands of miles, carried by wind currents and weather patterns, eventually settling over forests, deserts, and mountains. This invisible problem impacts not only the health of these delicate ecosystems, but also the experience and well-being of every visitor who comes seeking fresh air and natural beauty. The very air that's meant to rejuvenate us can actually carry pollutants from distant factories, power plants, and highways, sometimes from places hundreds of miles away. Pollution reduces visibility, turning once clear vistas into hazy silhouettes. It damages plants, stunts their growth, and harms wildlife that depend on clean air and water. It's a wake-up call, a reminder that our actions, even those far from these wild places, can have a profound impact on their health and beauty. Understanding these challenges is the first step toward becoming better stewards of the environment, both inside and outside park boundaries. By facing the truth and taking action, we can help protect these wild places, ensuring that future generations can experience the wonder and purity of our national parks. When we think of air pollution, we often picture thick city smog, the kind that hangs over busy streets and makes the skyline look blurry. But there's a more elusive threat, ground-level ozone, that can be just as dangerous even when the air looks clear. Unlike the protective ozone layer high above, ground-level ozone is a harmful gas. Imagine it as a kind of sunburn, but for your lungs, irritating your airways every time you breathe it in. This pollutant forms when emissions from cars, factories, and power plants react with sunlight, especially during hot, sunny days. The process is invisible, but the effects are very real. Ozone pollution peaks in the summer, turning what should be beautiful, carefree days in the park into times when the air can actually be hazardous to your health. Breathing in ozone can trigger coughing, throat irritation, and make asthma or bronchitis much worse, especially for children, seniors, and anyone with lung conditions. Even healthy people can feel its effects after spending time outdoors. Plants and trees suffer too. Ozone damages leaves, stunts growth, and weakens entire ecosystems, making it harder for forests and parks to thrive. Even the healthiest, most pristine parks aren't immune. This invisible invader can reach remote wilderness areas, far from city streets. Ironically, the very sunshine that draws us outdoors and makes parks so inviting is also what helps create unhealthy air on certain days. We visit parks to breathe deeply and reconnect with nature, but sometimes the air itself can put our health at risk without us even realizing it. That's why understanding ozone pollution is so important. It's the first step to protecting these precious landscapes and the people who love them. Ozone is a challenge we can't see with our eyes, but it's one we must address together if we want to keep our parks safe and healthy for everyone. Only by knowing the problem and working as a community can we fight back and ensure our parks remain a refuge for generations to come. You might assume remote parks are safe from pollution, but some of America's most iconic parks are among the most polluted. California's Sequoia, Kings Canyon, and Joshua Tree often have dozens of unhealthy air days each year. Geography plays a big role. Pollution from the Central Valley gets trapped against the Sierra Nevada, blanketing these parks. It's not just California. Great Smoky Mountains and even the Grand Canyon suffer from drifting pollution. Air pollution doesn't respect park boundaries. It follows the wind, turning sanctuaries into recipients of secondhand smog. Parks can be far from cities and still suffer. Solving this problem requires action beyond park borders. Our parks are part of a larger environmental system, feeling the effects of our industrial world. Protecting them means looking at the bigger picture. Summer is peak season for park visits, and for air pollution too, as crowds flock to enjoy the outdoors. Sunlight and heat accelerate ozone formation, making hot days especially risky for breathing, particularly for children and older adults. But there's another threat: wildfires, which can erupt suddenly and spread quickly. Climate change has fueled longer, more intense fire seasons, sending smoke and fine particles across entire regions and affecting millions. During wildfires, park air can become hazardous, sometimes even worse than the most polluted cities on Earth. The combination of ozone and wildfire smoke creates a dangerous mix, forcing park closures and urgent health alerts for visitors. Rising temperatures make both problems worse, increasing risks for people and wildlife alike. Protecting parks now means confronting climate change head-on, with new strategies and urgent action. The shadow of summer pollution and fire is growing longer each year, threatening the future of our treasured parks. So what does all this mean for your next park trip? Don't cancel, just be prepared. Check the air quality forecast before you go, just like you check the weather. Use apps like AirNow or Purple Air for real-time updates. If air quality is poor, especially for sensitive groups, adjust your plans. Opt for lighter activities or visit indoor centers. Schedule strenuous hikes for early morning when air is cleaner and cooler. Wildfire smoke can change conditions quickly, so check updates throughout the day. Bring necessary medications if you have respiratory issues. Being air-aware can actually enhance your trip and keep you healthy. Explore with knowledge and respect for the environment. Smart planning lets you enjoy the parks while protecting your health. Is there anywhere left with truly clean air? Absolutely. In a world where pollution often clouds our skies, there are still places where the air remains as pure as it was centuries ago. Remote parks like Denali and Gates of the Arctic in Alaska boast some of the cleanest air in the entire national park system. Their isolation from cities and industry means the air here is virtually untouched by modern pollution. Parks in the Rockies like Glacier and Yellowstone often enjoy crisp, clear air, especially when favorable winds sweep away any lingering haze. These high-altitude landscapes offer a breath of fresh air, both literally and figuratively. Coastal parks such as Olympic in Washington and Acadia in Maine benefit from fresh ocean breezes that help keep the air clean and invigorating. The constant movement of air from the sea refreshes these environments daily. These places are benchmarks for what natural air should be: unspoiled, clear, and full of life. They remind us of the standard we should strive for everywhere. Visiting them is a rejuvenating experience, a reminder of what we're fighting to protect. Breathing deeply in these parks, you can feel the difference, and it's a gift worth preserving for future generations. Scientists use these parks as reference points for healthy ecosystems. By studying the air and the life it supports, they gain insight into what's possible when nature is left undisturbed. They show us that clean air is possible when nature is given space and protection. These landscapes are living laboratories, teaching us about resilience and balance. These parks inspire hope and set a goal for conservation. They remind us that with care and commitment, we can restore and protect the air we all depend on. They're living proof that nature can thrive when we keep pollution at bay, offering a vision of a healthier, more vibrant world for all living things. Protecting park air is a big challenge, but not impossible. The National Park Service and EPA monitor air and push for stronger pollution controls. But we all have a role. Reducing our carbon footprint helps, whether by driving less, carpooling, or using park shuttles. Lowering electricity use at home also makes a difference. Support organizations fighting for clean air and let elected officials know you care. Talk to park rangers, learn about air quality, and share what you learn with others. Every small action adds up. The air in our parks connects us all. It's a shared resource and responsibility. By working together, we can keep America's best idea healthy for future generations. Let's be the guardians of clear skies and wild places.